channel. I'm Andy the Middle-Aged Gamer, and today we have the BCM MK2 MCMR 8.5-inch GBBR, brand new from VFC for 2024. Now, while I stick the usual disclosures on screen, you guys grab a drink, and let's jump in. Okay guys, so let's start with a little bit of context. Now, this is technically the second BCM I've owned. It is the first GBBR, but I did actually own the old Mark 1 AEG for all of about 5 minutes due to the fact that when it arrived, the AEGs were just shit internals and basically, didn't work properly, so got sent back. Now, I've always wanted to get hold of a BCM because I do like the BCM look. It's very sleek, it's low profile in that respect, and everything is just cool. But time went by, and now in September of 2024, they finally released the Mark II, which does feature a few cooler cuts within the receiver, and I do actually like the look of the twos more than the ones. So, with that, let's jump in. Okay, doing what we always do, starting at the rear and working our way forward. So, here at the rear, we do get the BCM Gunfighter stock, which is quite nice to look at. The polymer is brilliant, but it does suffer one thing that pretty much most companies like to follow through on, and that is using an AEG stock on a gas blowback buffer tube, and you get, to the point that if you use it in its current state, you're going to think that your gun's broken when you're in gameplay. I know I did, and to be honest with you, it's not. It's just that it needs shimming because this is an AEG stock on a gas blowback buffer tube. And if you don't understand why that's bad, well, it's simple. AEG buffer tubes are slightly wider and not true mil-spec, and therefore that allows them to fit a battery inside the buffer tube. But gas blowbacks being mil-spec, well, being smaller, you get that. Now, like I say, is it a bad thing? Yes. Can you fix it easily? Yes. A bit of Gorilla Tape at the back of the buffer tube here on the top, and it'll shim it and you won't get the wobble anymore, if you still like this type of stock. If not, you're going to have to rip it off and put your own on. Now, to remove it, one thing I will tell you is how to remove this. To adjust it is just push in, but if I can pull that in, you will see that it matches up here. Putting an Allen key through there and then pulling the Allen key down allows you to remove the stock. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of hours trying to figure it out. But outside of that, you do get the official markings, okay, which is awesome, and you do get the nice BCM star engraved into the nice rubber butt pad here at the back. You do get some QD inserts, and yes, they are steel little, holes there, and you got the polymer around. They're just inserts inside, which are nice. And yeah, you can use it if you wish. Not that you're going to want to, because you'll probably do what I do and use the end plate here. Now, this is a mil-spec castle nut, mil-spec buffer tube, and the end plate is the BCM. If I pull it in, you can see the BCM star. This is a full steel end plate with a QD socket there. Absolutely awesome. That's what we want to see, right guys? High quality products, as they say. Now, at the top, if I lock that to the rear, you can see there you do get your BCM Gunfighter. It does have for airsoft use only on the side, even though this will fit a real steel, charging handle and so on, but they have to put it on there for legal reasons. It is ambidextrous, as you can see. You can easily pull it from left or right, but it is the only ambidextrous thing that comes with the gun, apart from the trigger. So, drop that down. Now, if we remove the mag, just for convenience, moving down, let's talk about the grip. The grip itself is a BCM, and I do like the way that VFC do theirs. Unlike their EMG licensed products that have the EMG logo in there, if you look carefully, you will see the BCM nicely on there, and it is just absolutely nice. It feels good. It doesn't need to have some EMG marketing on there or what have you. It can just have the nice stippling. You can actually access inside if you want to remove this. This is a mil-spec grip, so any mil-spec grips will fit. For an AR-15 will fit this, no problem. Just use the screw that comes with it. One thing I did note is, as you can see here, the seams across here just look unfinished. It does look like a rush job, and it should have been done better if you ask me. Now, if we move up, we do get the BCM trigger guard, as you can see there, it's nicely logoed on there. And that allows you to get a nice purchase up with this grip, and it's not cutting into your finger like a standard M4. Now, speaking of trigger, this is a V3 system inside, so you get their standard trigger. Now, it is pretty strong. It takes 5.5 to 6 pounds of pull to break. You're pretty much at the wall. And your reset is 1, 2, 2.5, and then you're right there. And there's literally right at the wall. It's just right forward. So let's call it 3 full mils of travel, 2.5 to the reset, with 0.5 mil left over. Now, is that bad? No, you can still spam it. It is a heavy trigger, but again, you know, if you've used any V3 system before, you know what the trigger's like. It's nice, it's crisp, but it is, how to say, mil spec, let's put it that way. Now, moving on up, we get that right. We do have a nice, safe, semi, and fun mode, let's call it. But as you can see, it's nice and positive with this, and will sit in its position you choose without any movement whatsoever, so you don't accidentally bump it. You do get the Bravo company logo there, and the address, which is nice. All the proper markings are there for it, which is beautiful. You do get your standard M4 bolt stop / release, and you do get your right hand friendly mag release. Now we'll go over the materials and that when we do the teardown. Okay, so yeah, at the top, as you can see, you do get a new cut upper, which is awesome. The nice reinforcement part here around the chamber, that's nice. There are some other cuts, we'll show you that when we get to that side. Now, the magazine that this comes with is their V3 magazines. We've been over these quite a fair few on this channel, except this one does have BCM, and it shows you the kind of coating on this. Just putting two together can cause a scratch to appear easily enough, so just be careful. But yeah, your fill valves here, and you can tell it's V3 because of the red follower here, which is substantially larger than the old V2s, giving you a better lockback. So if you own like the 416 or whatever, using these are going to give you a better lockback of the bolt, just more reliable than if you used the older types. So they're a good mag and they are pretty efficient. You are looking around about 90 BBs in current winter temperatures, which is 3 full mags with a lockback. You will get a bit more than that, but there's no lockback guaranteed after that with this cold weather that we're having right now. But in the summer, you're going to get substantially more. So just FYI, and these retail for about 55 to 60 pounds, depending on if you want it with the BCM on there or you just want the standard grey. Okay. Now, moving on up, we do get the BCM 7-inch handguard. This is a top-end MCMR handguard, and it does come with the proprietary, I would say, lock-up system and barrel nut in there, just to let you know. So you would unscrew one screw first, which should be this one, and then you take out this one. Okay, now we do get some rail covers with this. There's 2, one on either side. That's nice that they include them, and they also include some rail segments if you want to put it, because you have M-LOK on the 3, 6, 9, 10, 2, and 5 and 7, which is awesome, and it gives you a nice amount of, how to say, space to put whatever you want on the sides, but to just grip. And of course, the actual circumference, the girth of this handguard is just nice. It feels really good in the hand, especially with these rubber pieces. Nothing cutting you, it's really good. Now, underneath, you can see the gas block there and the nice tube. Basically, this is their VFC guide hop, and inside you will be given a Allen key. You would use that Allen key down the front of your handguard into the gas block, and you can adjust. Adjusting it that way adds hop, removing it that way removes the hop. Okay. Now, the barrel in here is aluminium, and you can see here at the front we have the BCM flash hider at the front, which is nice. Again, this is mounted via a 14mm CCW thread, so you can remove this and put whatever device you want on there. For YouTube purposes, I've left the BCM on, but obviously after this video, I'll be putting something else on there. You guys know what. Now, if you do, just remember that at the bottom there is a grub screw. As you can see, I've left mine out because I'm not going to keep this on, but you definitely need to back that out before you take this off, otherwise you're going to strip your threads, which has happened, believe it or not, it has actually happened. Oh, while we're on this, one thing I will show you is out the box, there is a bit of wobble with the up and low receiver. Is that a bad thing? No, you can buy what we call an Accu wedge. Costs you about £8 for a pack of 10. You just cut them down, you put them in. Real Steel use them again, but you can just put it in here and it will solve your problems overnight. Or you could buy the adjustable front pin, but that's more work to put in than doing an Accu wedge. It's also more expensive. Now, if we flip this around, you will find, like I say, everything is mirrored on the handguard, and it comes to the dust cover. Now, the dust cover is a standard steel dust cover, and with VFC, it's usually pretty difficult to put that in, and you just do it like that. You do get BCM nicely printed onto the bolt carrier, and as you can see, the lightning cuts around the forward assist, which is mock, but it's there, which is nice. You do get BCM on there, and the proof marker BCM with the star. You do get the markings in case you put an ambi trigger on there, which, again, you can definitely do. But yeah, and your mag release is here. So, why don't we do this? Let's get this taken out to the range. Let's see how she performs. Okay, this is the BCM MK2 MCMR 8.5 inch review. So let's use the 2.5 gram BBs and green gas. Okay, let's push it back to 10 meters. Let's see what she can do. Few flyers in that group. Okay, let's check the Texas Star. Definitely capable. Okay, so now we've gotten to this point. You can see grouping wise, for the most, is okay. But you will get some flyers, and if you were keen-eyed, you'll see ones that just miss the target completely, and they're what we call flyers. I have noticed, though, a drop-off, and that comes down to the seal. We'll talk about that in a moment, but if we were to take this grouping as is, right now, we're looking at just over 3 inches. Thereabouts, just a little over 3 inches with the grouping size. And your width size is going to be, so from here to here, it's about 1 3/4 inches in its group. So it is a decent group, but certainly within the first 2,000 rounds, I've noticed that the BBs were starting to drop, like I say, slowly. And you will get that. You'll get perfect, perfect, perfect drop, perfect drop, perfect, etc. like this all the way. And you will just see them sort of like dropping down or flying off to the side. But other than that, it's okay. It's certainly decent, and it's something that can easily be upgraded, especially with the price of this. You can upgrade this pretty simply. Now, let's talk internal, shall we? Let's start with the lower, as we always do. So, your fire selector, zinc. Your trigger, zinc. Your bolt catch is zinc. Your bolt stop release, well, that is steel. Your auto sear, steel. Takedown pins are steel. Hammer is steel. The spring is. The firing pin is. And if I'm right, come on, out there. Yep, the disconnector down there is steel. But the actual trigger itself, so the trigger here is zinc. Then you've got a steel insert for the disconnector part. That's steel. This is steel. Your auto sear itself is steel, but the selector is not. Is it bad? No, it's just down to VFC inconsistency, because I know for a fact that if you own the Knight's Armament SR16, it is steel. And if you own like a Rattler or the Spear LT, it's steel. So again, it's your mileage may vary when it comes down to consistency with VFC. They decide to use whatever they want to use rather than have a consistent, It's just one of those. Now, the main difference between all this is going to be, I should say that proves this is a V3, is your firing pin itself. This whole system is much more reliable, being that it is a single module in there that is held in with a single screw. So you would knock this out, well, the pin out, take out your bolt stop, and then you can unscrew that unit, take it out, slap a new one in, put it all back together. A lot more simpler, and it's more reliable. Okay, just something that you guys need to be aware of, but it is certainly doable. Now, with that, you do get your V2 buffer, which, as you can hear, has a nice loose weight in there that's not under any spring tension. It's just like able to free. So we have a steel little bit there, which is basically your end bit that's moving forward and back. So as this goes back and forward, it mitigates bolt bounce. But again, if you watch slow-mos of these and that, you will see that there still is some little bit. You'll always have just a tiny amount. It's whether it breaks the seal of the nozzle, which is what affects, how to say, your performance. Now, like I say, we are going to get to that. Now, to remove the weight inside or to add any more, you can just unscrew this. It is just screwed on at the top. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, this has been on there since the V2, along with its heavy spring. Now, your bolt carrier itself, again, this is a bit of a weird one. For the Mark II, it's zinc. No steel, just zinc. And your screws are steel. That is now actually steel in there, but it's just to stop this thing from coming out. So you would need to remove this to get this out if you want to swap out your nozzle. Your nozzle in there, if I can find the right code, there you are. So if I spin this around for you guys. In there you can see M4/416 V3. That's the same nozzle that's been in the V2s. It's their third nozzle. So that's great. It does have an end pass on this one, which is good. And it is held with an E-clip here at the back rather than the screw that VFC have been doing lately on their new stuff. To be honest, I enjoy the E-clip more because it's more secure and easier to put back, whereas the screw likes to back itself out under the heavy recoil and therefore drop into your fire control group. It happened with me on the Spear LT 9-inch, and yeah, you will find it's a whole world of pain. But if you do have a screw, just thread lock it, leave it for 48 hours, and then you can use your gun, no problem. You'll never have an issue. But just something to know. With this, it's fine. It is their cool nozzle system, and it really works. It does have a hardened steel insert right there, which is pinned in place. Don't know if we can show you that. It's just pinned in right there. Okay. It's just a roll pin. If it comes out, you can tap a new one in. Anyone who's done it for, well, once will be able to do it again, and it's not really hard. But yeah, that's cool. It's a standard bolt carrier. You know what? Let's check the weight of this, shall we? So, move that out of the way a second. Let's bring the scales in. Turn you on. We'll make sure it's zeroed, and we put the bolt carrier on there. So we're looking at 205.15 grams, which, that's not a bad bolt carrier. That's one of the reasons why we do actually have some weight, you know, and that's kind of cool. You do get a nice recoil on this because of that. Now, again, this is just a BCM replica, I would say, charging handle, but it is mil spec, so you can use any mil spec charging handle on here if you don't like the BCM. Now, talking about the upper, like I say, is nice. I will say the upper and lower are CNC finished and have this powder coat on there, this satin type matte finish. Whether you like that or not, it's going to be up to you. For me, it's a case of it's decent enough to do the job, certainly for the price point, but I would have preferred Cerakote. Now, inside there is your blue hop booking, and this uses the standard V2 hop, guide hop system. So just bear that in mind, okay, guys? And yep, you can just unthread that. And like I say, you can see their precision in a barrel. You can tell it's precision because of the black. But if you don't like the, the inner barrel, if you are having inconsistencies, then you can always swap that out. It's pretty simple. But one thing I'll tell you is why this was dropping. I said I'd show you that, right? The reason this drops is as this goes home into battery, the nozzle providing, as you can see here, it's not providing a massive seal, right? Okay, going straight in. Doesn't get a massive seal, and of course under quick fire, whether it's 1 second, sometimes you might get it where this goes home and it doesn't get that nice seal on that booking, because that booking was quite stiff, and it took me, like I say, about 2,000 rounds to get the thing stable and break it in. But basically it won't penetrate that booking enough to get a good seal, and you'll leak out some gas down the side, and that's where you're losing your velocity and your BB's dropping. Okay, and again, due to the inconsistency of it being loaded, you know, you might get them going off to the side or up. That's just generally a normal thing for stock, I would say, performance. But I would definitely leave that decision making up to you guys. I don't mind it because, to be honest with you, like I say, it's a booking swap. TNT makes some really good ones. The barrel is decent enough on its own. A simple booking swap, which takes about 5 minutes to do, and away you go. There is no issues. It's really simple. But yeah. Now, why don't we put all this back together and let's go over and do some shooting. Okay, if you've gotten this far in the video and you like what you see, but you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell and like button. That way you help the channel with the YouTube algorithm and you stay notified whenever I put another cool, awesome product like this on the table for you guys. If you want to go one step further, then you've got the YouTube thanks button, and that really does go a massive way as well. So I'll leave that up to you without harping on about it. Okay, time to wrap this one up with a nice little bow. So let's start with the cons, shall we? The overall fit and finish of the upper and low receiver does have a bit of play, and that for me is a bit of a negative. Again, depending on which guy does the painting and the CNCing for you to finish the upper and low receiver is going to be how much play you get. It will vary from build to build, etc. And speaking of varying, the inconsistency of the parts used, whether it's a steel bolt carrier in the Knight's armament. I believe the older BCM, let me know in the comments, had a steel one, but now there is zinc. Again, it's mixed depending on which version of the V3, what M4, what brand it is. And to me, I don't like that inconsistency, especially if someone wanted to ask me what's the difference, which we are going to answer. But yeah, basically it's a case of, like I say, a bit of inconsistency. Now let's talk about the positives. It's a really solid gun out the box. Any of the issues that you have can easily be worked through, whether it's just putting rounds down range to get your booking to be a lot more, worn in, and therefore more reliable, more consistent, which is great. Or swapping the inner barrel to get your grouping size a little bit better. They're all things you can do very easily and on the cheap. Not going to kill you. The receiver wobble, it's an AccuEdge. Like I say, it's £8 for 10 off Amazon. So just choose the one that suits you and away you go. It's not really the end of the day, you know? But overall, for the price to part ratio on this thing, as we sort of like say, it's a really good deal. If you're looking to get into the milsim style of internals, you know, the actual simulated realistic internals, then this is a way to go. The entry point is cheap, the magazines are cheap, affordable, and actually quite efficient for what you get. And at the end of the day, like I say, there are so many aftermarket companies now that are backing the VFC V2/V3 system. It's really good. Again, like I say, QC wise, you've got seam lines in the grip that shouldn't be there. That can easily be sorted out. The stock being an AEG spec stock instead of the GBBR. Again, yeah, I understand why, but it doesn't make it any more palatable or acceptable, whatever you want to call it, that they've done that. But all in all, this thing is amazing. And you can actually wield this thing quite well. It's lightweight. It's short enough for CQB that you're going to really love it. It does absolutely amazing in CQB. So, yeah, I do like it. I'd be interested to know what you guys think, and I can't wait to read the comments, whether you like it or not. I do like them. So, yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what other guns you want to see on the channel. I have got a list and it is growing quite a lot. So please consider using the YouTube thanks button. It really goes a long way. But other than that, I've been Andy, the Middle-Aged Gamer. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.